In today's video, my friends, I'm going to give you some useful tips in a guide to buying a brand new TV. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. In this video, we're going to be covering a few different subjects, from how long should a TV last, right through to budget, location, size, technology, and also some miscellaneous things that you may not have thought of. Right, let's get started. How long should a brand new TV last? Well, that might come down to budget, but what do you guys think? We conducted a poll on our community page and asked how long should your next TV last. Now, around a third of you, just over a third, said between 5 and 6 years. But if you bring in the next banding as well, then over 50% thought that it should be between 5 and 8 years. So really, the average is around 6.5 to 7 years. And that I completely 100% agree with. Your next TV purchase should last you easily for the next 6 or 7 years. Now, it's very difficult to talk about what is the right budget for somebody, but I do have an absolute key bit of advice. We all know that what is right for one won't be for another, and what is expensive for some people will be cheap to others. But there's one bit of advice which I've always followed when buying TVs, and that is spend slightly more than what you first thought, because you won't then look back and regret. And we've already established that over a 6 or 7 year period, you're going to be having this TV, and so that extra between what you were going to spend and what you actually spend, well, just divide that by 6 or 7 and you'll be amazed at how cheap the extra is over the years. Now, obviously I don't advise anyone to get into financial difficulty or debt through doing this, and I know that you may have to run this by somebody in your house, and so therefore just send them to this part of the video and blame me. In all seriousness though, guys, this is a sensible way of operating. It means that you can sometimes future-proof yourself. For instance, if you haven't got the latest console, but over the course of the next 3 or 4 years you think you will get one, well then get the set with 4K at 120 Hz, because then you're ready for the next console, even if you're not going to get it for a year or so. And it means that you're getting the better TV now, and that just gives you much more enjoyment. Why wait and suffer the pain? Enjoy yourself now. When it comes to location, you need to consider a few different things. Not only what room you're going to be putting the TV in, but also is it going to be wall mounted or is it going to sit on a stand? Because these are very important things. Now, in this room, for instance, that this TV is in, this is my Sony X90J. This is in a bright room with patio doors opposite it. You can just about make out a reflection, and this room just wouldn't handle an OLED TV very well at all. And so therefore, that's why I've gone for a nice bright LCD/LED TV. Something like a QLED or a QNED would be absolutely fine here as well. Also, it's really important to measure where you're going to be putting the TV. I have got this certain space available here, and so therefore the TV needed to fit in that space. And I did make the mistake, and boy was I told by my wife, when I had a 75-inch nanocell in there, it looks fine here, but she wasn't very happy with this. Yep, you're right guys, this little corner here, it got me into so much trouble you wouldn't believe. So I'm sparing you that, guys. Make sure you think carefully about where you're putting it. If you're planning on putting your TV on a standard TV cabinet, you also need to take care, and there are some things that you need to bear in mind. I definitely recommend that you double check the width of not only the TV that you're purchasing, but also the depth, and also compare that to the stand that you're going to be putting the TV on. Another consideration if you're putting it on a stand is if you're going to have a soundbar. Will it sit comfortably in front of the TV? You obviously don't want that interfering with the actual picture of the TV. And bear in mind that there are some TVs out there which do have a sloping front to them, and so therefore the soundbar wouldn't sit flush, and so therefore it would need to be pushed either further forward or not there at all. Again, the width of the stand is something to consider. Some TVs have a very wide stand, and therefore you need a wider cabinet. Some of you may have a range of furniture which matches other things within the room, and therefore it's not practical to keep on buying new TV cabinets. And if yours is a narrower one, then something like this Samsung QN90A with the center stand might be more appropriate. And with this type of stand, you can also fit a soundbar right underneath without any problems at all. My advice when it comes to what size TV to purchase, don't get drawn into the biggest is always best. Because there are so many times where I've seen people have 75-inch TVs, but the picture is awful. And what they could have done for the same money is bought a really high quality 55-inch TV, and they would have been far happier. Sure, if you've got the budget to spend a lot of money on a high quality 75-inch TV, well then that is the ultimate scenario. And nowadays you can even go as high as 100 inches. Now there are so many different types of TV technology, I'm not going to bore you in this video going through all of them, but I did do a recent video about the evolution of TV, which you may find interesting, and I'll leave a link in the description. When you're considering the different types of technology that are available, you need to be aware that really they're split into two main categories. One type of technology is based on LCD or LED TVs, and the other type is based on OLED. Now, these are completely different ways of providing light to the TV, and within the first category, the LCD or LED, you'll find that there are a number of different types. You'll hear things like quantum dot and nanocell and QLED and QNED. All of these are still based on the LCD/LED technology. We ran another poll on our community page and almost 4,000 people answered the question, which TV technology will you buy next? The results, as you can see, were absolutely overwhelming, with 71% saying OLED. Just 11% said QLED or QNED, and 10% said micro LED, which is such a new technology it's hardly available. And just a small fraction, 5% and 3%, said either mini LED or standard LCD. Now I do have to say I agree completely with this poll. OLED is without a doubt my favourite. You may be wondering what all the fuss is about OLED, and why does 71% of people say that is going to be the next technology that they buy? Well, one of the big differences in the way that these TVs are designed is that every single individual pixel on the screen is self-lit, and that means it can be turned on or turned off. And what that does is give you the most incredible detail and also the most incredible black levels and contrast. Look at this scene, for instance. Now, the benefit to you as the customer is that you get perfect black level details. But if you are watching a scene, for instance, like Gravity, where there would be stars, every single one of those individual stars could be lit individually because of the self-lit pixels. And that then gives you the much better perception of contrast. Now, LCD TVs operate in lighting dimming zones, and so therefore they can never get to true black. So the best that they can get is very, very dark grey. My main advice with an OLED TV is if you are going to buy one, and I definitely recommend you do, just don't position it opposite a window. Because the black level details are so good on this TV, you'll find that during daytime you may be prone to more reflections than what you would do with a LCD or an LED TV. There are some other really important reasons and tips for buying a TV. One of these, and probably the most important for many people, is price. What price can you get this TV for today? And what I mean by that is a lot of the TVs that have already been released earlier on in the year have already started to be discounted, and there's some cracking deals out there. I've left links in the description so that you can check out the very latest deals when you're watching this video, and hopefully you can save hundreds if not thousands of pounds or dollars. For many people, the gaming features of a TV are going to be very important. The things that you need to look out for the best possible gaming experience is a TV that provides 4K at 120Hz, that's capable of delivering FreeSync and G-Sync, and also that has VRR, which is variable refresh rate. Look for low response times and low input lag, and also the number of HDMI 2.1 ports can be important if you're thinking of playing with multiple consoles or a high-end PC. Those features are obviously the ultimate features for a gaming TV, but don't get too worked up about them. If you're an occasional gamer like myself, well then you can still have bags of fun on a TV that doesn't have all of those features, so it's not absolutely crucial. But again, if you want to future-proof yourself and you think maybe in the future you will spend more time gaming, well then it's probably sensible to look out for as many of those features as you possibly can. My final little bit of advice, which can completely transform your viewing experience, is get a new sound system. Certainly consider at least a soundbar with a subwoofer, but if you can stretch to it, go for a 5.1 system, or certainly look at getting some rear surround sound speakers because it will be transformational. So after all that, guys, you may be considering what TV do you end up buying? Well, again, in a recent poll on my community page, this is how it came out. And as you can see, all of the top 4 TVs were OLED TVs. The LG C1 came out on top mainly because of the amazing picture quality, and also most people thought it had the best value. The LG C1 is also great for gamers because all of those features that we spoke about, it's got those there. The Sony TVs did brilliantly in terms of the picture quality. Most people absolutely love the picture quality of the Sonys, however they do miss some of the gaming features. And here in the UK, the Panasonic JZ2000 did very well, but again that's not available across the whole world, and so therefore in the United States for instance it's not available, and so therefore it didn't perform quite as well. So guys, it's 4 out of the top 5 were OLEDs. What's your thoughts? Have you got a preference? Leave a comment, and if you think that there's any tips that I've missed out on, well then please do leave a comment and let other people know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope that it has been useful for you. Check out the links in the description and you'll hopefully find yourself a great TV deal.